All right, we'll call them KPIs. That's an acronym. So what does it stand for? Key Performance Indicator. Exactly. I'm using this.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about what a key performance indicator is. Here is a generic a definition that I found. You can find 17 of these things on Google. It's a key, key performance indicator. Okay, somebody read this for me. Who's got a big voice? She doesn't have a big voice. I've heard her before. You have a big voice. Read it.
I don't really, but a set of quantifiable measures that a company or industry uses to gauge or compare performance in terms of meeting their strategic and operational goals.
What does that mean?
Basically, the things that they look at and all of that information that tells them whether they're doing the right thing or the wrong thing.
Okay. The point here is that they are key numbers that you're going to run your business by, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but they also then, why did I have this big black goals there? Why did I highlight that?
Because maybe that's the point. I mean, it has to do with budgets and stuff.
Anybody else?
The end result.
Results are part of it.
What you compare standards.
Okay. You run your business on goals, right? You should. You know, what are we trying to do this year? That's why you build a business plan. You have a marketing plan, operational plan, HR plan, training plan, right? And they all have goals. Each department has their own goals. You roll it up into an entire business plan, right? But you all have these goals that you're trying to accomplish. Okay? Key performance indicators do not live in a vacuum. Right? They are not a set aside. You read in a book in marketing, you're going to come to the chapter that says key performance indicators. And they'll talk about what they are, and it is very, very dry. But we're going to make them sexy today. You don't believe me?
Yeah.
I can see you shiver with anticipation. There we go. It's my only Rocky reference, I swear. Okay, let's go next. So there's a decent definition. First, you got to have goals, though, right? Okay. I like to have people have what we call SMART goals. It doesn't matter, but what are they? They're specific. Each goal should be specific. It's got to be measurable. If you can't measure it, how do you improve it? How do you know where you are, whether you're being successful or not? Some people call KPI success markers. Okay. It's got to be achievable. It's got to be realistic. Our group is working on a salon. They have no data that they make decisions on. And they just think things are going to happen. So are their goals or their wants and desires achievable? Well, they don't know. So you guys have to know what is achievable and is not in your business. Okay? A lot of people, when they go to the R in the SMART goals, they call it, it's results oriented. Okay, that's fine. I like to make sure that it's also a relevant goal, meaning it actually will do something for the business. If your goal is to have a lunch meeting with customer service people once a week because sometimes they fight, you want them to get together and be nice to each other. Is that a relevant goal? Does it drive the business anywhere?
Yeah.
Doesn't. So the goal has to be relevant. It has to be important to the business. Okay? Time specifics, very, very important. Very important. Pick a start date, end date. What's the result that you're looking for at the end of that date? And then the key performance indicators will actually tell you as you're going through whether or not you're going to get there. Is it sexy yet? Right? This is a lot of fun, isn't it? Okay. Somebody read this one. It's got a big voice. You relate, right? Okay. Viewers. you got screwed.
Choosing the right KPI.
Big loud.
Choosing the right KPIs is reliant upon having a good understanding of what is important to the organization. What is important often depends on the department measuring the performance. The KPIs useful to the finance team will be quite different to the KPIs assigned to the sales force.
Sure. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Salesforce is going to have different KPIs than the operations plan is going to have. Maybe the most important goal you've got in your business when you say you bought a business and you go, I got a $3 million business and I got $2 million in inventory. Probably too much, right? Maybe one of my goals is I got to reduce inventory, got to reduce cycle time. So maybe that's a goal, okay? All different departments are going to have their goals, and everybody who's got a job should have goals and KPIs to go with it. If you have 12 people in your business, everybody there's got a job that should lead to the bottom line. So they need to have their goals, and you need to talk with them about what their goals are. How are you going to add to the business? What does your job do to drive bottom line? Okay? So everybody should have goals. And then the KPIs that go with them. So the general manager is going to give goals to the sales manager, is going to give goals to the sales force, is going to give goals to customer service, is going to give goals to engineering to get the right product out, all of that. It just filters down. Okay. Choosing the right KPI is as important as actually having them. Again, they need to be relevant to the business. Anybody got any questions so far? No? Okay. I said the KPIs do not exist in a vacuum. They are part of a system. Right? You can have a KPI that isn't really relevant to anything else. So your goal setting leads into a strategy. You use strategy development to figure out what that is. Then there are action steps or implementation steps that actually drive that strategy, right? Which then you test and measure with your KPIs, your key performance indicators. These are the markers along the highway to get to your destination. So you might be checking these things every day. If you have a good enough information system and it's not too cumbersome to get to. Maybe it's every week. Maybe it's even monthly. But goals then drive the strategy, drive the action and implementation steps, track them with the KPIs, and at the end, what are your results? And that's how you find out whether or not you're on the right path. But the KPIs do not exist outside that system. People who try to say, I got KPIs, but without them being related within that system, they're useless. Okay. You guys are doing a consulting project. Okay. It's a little bit different than coaching, which is what I tend to do. Okay. If you're going to be project oriented, one of the things that if you're doing consulting, KPIs tend to become your accountability factor. That's why they're important. Okay? I get to have my hands on a business owner every week. So I can say, what'd you do last week? What did you accomplish? Okay? Show me that with data. What was your sales numbers? What was this? What was that? Okay? KPIs can help, if they'll accept them and they can be accountable to themselves, track this stuff, can be the owner's accountability when you're doing a consulting project. And I agree with Tom. That's one of the key things if you're going to do consulting that you've got to have in place. Okay. Next.